Quick news coming in, and this is in regard to the ex-Prime Minister of Nepal, Sher Bahadur, who has been attacked in Nepal. Mob has attacked the ex-Prime Minister as well. This is after the current Prime Minister has resigned. Violent attacks on top Nepal leaders. It is the Finance Minister also who was attacked literally on the streets, and that is when the Finance Minister was trying to get away from the protesting crowd running on the streets of Nepal. Here we have now the ex-Prime Minister of Nepal, this is Sher Bahadur, who has been attacked in Nepal, the mob attacking the ex-Prime Minister as well. So it is, of course, the move that has been made after 36 hours. The present Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has stepped down. He had little choice but then to step down. He took over, do remember, in July of 2024, his fourth time in office, with the backing of the Nepali Congress Party. And the headquarters of the Nepali Congress and the houses of its leaders have been vandalized as protesters have literally defied that indefinite curfew in Kathmandu. Many Nepalese, they're taking to the streets and, literally attacking the political clout in Nepal. And there, of course, they have a problem, particularly with Nepo kids, saying that the kind of privileges that they enjoy because of the political backing that they have is something that the youth have an issue and a problem with. So, though the protests were triggered by that social media ban, there has been widespread frustration with the government over perceived lack of action to tackle corruption, and they're calling for accountability and reforms in the governance of the system as far as the system in Nepal is concerned. So the Prime Minister there has stepped down. He's said to have we believe that he is meant to leave the country. We don't know if he has left the country yet or not because there's no confirmation on that regard. We did see a chopper that was standing by in order to take him. The plan that we do know is of the current Prime Minister who stepped down. Prime Minister, Oli is said to, go to Dubai. But here, visuals playing out on your screen of the former Prime Minister, Sher Bahadur, who has been attacked in Nepal. So this is the kind of action that the youth are taking, and of course many countries coming out and saying that they are urging for constraint, whether it's the United States or the United Kingdom, all these countries, and France and Australia, in a joint statement asking for constraint to now be observed. And of course a lot of people expressing their shock and urging for prompt and transparent probe into the matter. That is the United Nations. And India, the government here also saying that they're closely monitoring the situation and deeply saddened by the loss of the young lives. Do remember that almost 20 young people of Nepal have died in the protests that took place yesterday, and the kind of action that we've seen play out, even though they had revoked that ban on social media sites, 26 social media sites, that ban that was revoked last night has it still did not settle things down. In fact, it snowballed into this situation, and their visuals playing out of the former Prime Minister Sher Bahadur, who has now been attacked in Nepal. Do remember there were visuals earlier playing out of the Finance Minister running literally on the streets of Nepal, trying to get away from the protesters, in order to save his skin, save his life. And this is the demand that is being made. The demand is transparency, and the demand is accountability when it comes to the ones who are leading the government, who are ruling the government, and that is what the youth they have multiple issues, and the issues that they are facing includes unemployment, which is at an all-time high. That is the problem that there's deep-rooted corruption. That is something that the government hasn't been able to handle. This is also we do know that it all started with that ban that the government imposed on social media sites, but it is the embezzlement of public funds, nepotism, elite privilege. As far as the crackdown on free speech is concerned, that is the biggest issue as far as the youth is concerned. Attempts to basically silence the Gen X, and that is something that the Gen X will not tolerate, and that is what is playing out on the streets and continues to play out on the streets. And this has been inspired by Bangladesh and Indonesia, and a very heavy-handed police response that they saw yesterday when all they wanted to do was carry out a peaceful march, but it didn't go down too well, and that is what ultimately ended up in clashes in which 19 young people of Nepal died in those clashes. 250 people were injured, including 100 police personnel as well. And that is what the generational demand is. The demand is for change. That is what the youth is asking and taking matters into their own hands. But there you can see, the former Prime Minister, an old man there, being attacked by the youth. And of course, this, multiple, the kind of the situation on the ground is tense, and it continues to remain tense.